after a period of discussion, open discussion. So with that, go ahead.
Well, we have here tonight the architect, and I'm going to allow you both of you to introduce yourselves, to have a good discussion, provide some direction relative to a request for amendment to a shared parking agreement that we have currently with 4121 Wilson Drive. Within the memo, I've outlined what the general terms of the current arrangement are and the proposed arrangement. But what I'd like to do is give an opportunity for the two of you to introduce yourselves and also share any thoughts that you have relative to the agreement as we kind of move forward with the board. And then if the board has questions, we'd like to address those so that we can get all the information needed on the table in order to make a good decision relative to the agreement.
Very good.
Excellent. Good evening. Your name and your address.
Good evening. My name is Chad Griswold. I'm a partner at Rika, the architectural firm for the project. My address is 1413 East Elmdale Court, Shorewood, Wisconsin. So the amendment that you have before you right now was drafted, or let's say the agreement that's in place right now was drafted prior before either our group or the city became, or the village became owners of their respective properties. So at the time it was AB Data, and it was the American Legion North Shore Post number 331. So that's the original agreement. And basically it provided that the parking that's on the north side of what is now the police station could be accessed through the American Legion North Shore Post parking lot. And by doing that, I think there was some construction that had to happen at the time. There was some leveling of parking lots that happened. And by doing that, then the AB Data agreed to basically maintain the parking lot, to follow the parking lot, and then they also agreed that after 5 o'clock p.m. that the North Shore Post could use those parking stalls. Didn't really specify an end time to that, but it was basically after 5 o'clock. So it effectively operated as a single parking lot. Under the new proposal, so Josh Lurie is here. Josh represents the ownership group, Flexagon, and I also have Jessica Guzman here with me representing the ownership group. The plans that were approved by the design review board last week basically have a 10 townhome arrangement, and we've designed the plan as such that the access drive that would happen on the south side of 4121 would be adjacent to the parking for the police station on the north side of that property. So essentially, you still access that parking through the 4121 property, through that site to get to the parking that's on the north side of the police building. We think by doing this, currently there's about 8 stalls on site right now for the police station itself. We think under this arrangement, because we have a longer run, we have a longer driveway, there could possibly be about 11 parking stalls in that. And the amendment basically states that we will construct the new driveway, we will reconstruct the parking that's on the police station side of the property line to basically make sure that all the construction looks the same, to level all the parking lots, all that type of stuff. We will also maintain all of that, so both the access drive and the parking, so in terms of snow plow removal. So we'll clear snow from those areas. We would request that the long-term maintenance of those respective paving areas be done by the property that owns them. So we would maintain our drive, the police station would maintain their parking lot. And then we ask that the same arrangement that was in the original exhibit, where those parking stalls become available to the 4121 property after 5 o'clock p.m. We're using that, we have 10 townhomes that are proposed here. So basically after 5 o'clock p.m. to say 8 a.m. in the morning is how the draft amendment is written. Those could become guest parking stalls for the townhomes, for the guests of the townhomes. That's it in a nutshell. Any questions that you have on that?
Trustee Maher, and then
Are you
Trustee
expecting, I'm just thinking like 5, the police station might be using it 5, they may do runs. Are you expecting to assign individual spots, or will it be kind of open parking? So if somebody pulls in at 5:15, And, you know, there's still like a police, a
Right.
worker that hasn't left at 5:10, it's not like.
Yeah, no, this really is not assigned parking. Our development is parked at 2 parking stalls per unit. So we anticipate that the parking for the townhomes themselves will be fully parked. This is really just consideration for guest parking after hours, off-street guest parking for after hours. I don't anticipate any sort of overlaps like that to be an issue at all. I'd also just note, and I'm not completely familiar with all the renovations that are going on in the police station, but it's being designed currently so that all the police parking happens both indoors and on the south side of the property. So my understanding is that the station is no longer reliant at all on as far as parking stalls.
Trustee Carpenter?
I just had a question, and maybe I was kind of misunderstanding what you were saying, but looking at this particular
Yep.
drive, so you were saying that you would enter on the north side driveway?
So
This-
south is to the left in your picture.
Right.
So
So this
you would enter on the driveway that's on the south side of the 4121 property.
Okay.
And that would give you access to the parking that's on the north side of the police station building.
Got it, okay, I understand, okay,
Yep.
thank you.
Trustee Mentor?
Are you providing is this parking part of what you need to provide for the development, or is it in addition to what the required parking is?
It would be in addition. We're required to park at a 1 to 1.75 ratio. We're at a 1 to 2 ratio units to park themselves.
Trustee Warren?
Maybe I missed this. I did see something about the police department preferring to maintain 2 parking stalls and an ADA stall. Have they provided any other feedback on this proposal? Have they been involved in terms of helping in designing the solution?
Sure, not to my knowledge, but I believe that Rebecca has had some discussions with them, and we haven't had any direct discussions ourselves.
Direction with which party?
Police Department?
Police
The
department.
police department. Yes, we have. So within the scope of the memo, they have provided feedback that they would like for the ADA stall to remain in the parking area to the north of their building, which is in the scope. One of the reasons is because the ramp to their building actually comes in from that side, so it makes most sense versus having someone, and it's also an uphill incline, so it would be more conducive for the individual utilizing the stall. They had asked that 1, maybe 2 stalls be available to the police department during the day, but that would be nice to have, that weekend.
But during the day shouldn't be an issue, right, because you're talking about night.
Correct. They did, however,
Well,
they-
did they withdraw the daytime permit?
We never had a daytime ask, it was only.
correct, it's nighttime from 5 PM to 8 AM. But to finish addressing your question, the only expressed concern with the nighttime is that there be some regulation placed on that so that there are not vehicles parked there for days and days, particularly next to our police facility. So some way to acknowledge that could also be done by
Sign.
checking, parking checkers or setting something up where those people who are utilizing the spot would need to register in some way. And we could, through Duncan, have the ability to leave their license plates. But we just want to have some ability to check that so there's not abandoned vehicles or people abusing the spaces in that manner.
Can I just ask a question then, Trustee Mentor, just going off that? Is it recommended by staff and is the developer in agreement that these would be permitted spots, so they would pay for nighttime permits and then they'd be uploaded into Duncan just like anything else?
There was not a level of agreement or discussion on permitting. So the developer is proposing to have the stalls available from 5 PM to 8 AM, not in a permanent basis, but just for the availability, if I'm hearing you correctly.
That's correct.
To the residents of the 10 townhomes or their case.
Right. I guess we would say that we feel like it's a fair trade-off to, have the access to those parking stalls through our property and also to construct the parking lot to be able to have access to those stalls off hours, especially when the police station is not using them.
Trustee Mentor, then.
Okay, there's not a map here that shows the property lines. I think I'm finding that confusing because right now, what are those spots now, are they not, and couldn't someone in the public go and park there right now, after 5 PM or during the day? Or is it private parking, no parking?
Is there signage?
My understanding, and you can correct me if I have an incorrect understanding, but when the Legion Post did have the property, they did permit some vehicles to park in their lots, in their lot after hours. I'm not sure if any of those individuals parked in the stalls that are on our property, to the north of the building.
So it's not public parking now?
Customers.
Correct. Correct.
What's it, is it signed private property?
Right now, I'm not sure if it's at private property.
I mean, I'm just not sure what's different, I mean, I think, so-
I just want to show you on the map that was provided in your packet. This is,
Right.
so the entire parking, all these parking spots, it's not like some of them are to the northern property and some of them are like the police station, they're all on our property.
Correct.
The entire parking lot is on our property.
correct.
That's correct. The distance between the property line and the police building varies from about, off of memory, I want to say 20 to 30 feet. So a typical parking stall is 20 feet deep. So in order to actually access and pull into those parking stalls, you would need the driveway on the north side of the property.
Trustee Moore?
Just to put a fine point on this, the ADA stall on the north side, the police department would prefer to maintain. Is that part of, if we were to move forward and constructing the new kind of parking lot, would that be something you would be maintaining?
Of course.
I have a couple questions, just because I had a different interpretation. So the parking lot replacement, I had asked Rebecca earlier to ask the chief, and I got the information, and it went out to everyone, but we did do parking lot asphalting, I think it came to 12 grand or something. Are we talking about that area?
No, that area that was partially patched was south of the police station.
And then the
and
rest was
parking area
sealed?
south. There was no resurfacing work done in conjunction with the renovation of that building and the police station north of there,
North, okay, so all patching and sealing was done
on the south.
on the, okay. So that's my one question. Snow plowing, it doesn't, to me, it doesn't make sense that we wouldn't assign that to the developer for the, because once you have snow plow out, you might as well do the whole thing. So it should be one party or the other, in my opinion.
And that's what's considered in the current amendment. We would still plow both properties.
For eternity, I mean, until the parking spots are no longer used. When does that end?
We hadn't considered a sunset on that.
Okay.
I would say, as long as, we're using the access drive and the adjacent parking
Okay.
stalls as guest parking, we would maintain both of those.
And was it? Yeah.
Correct, right? This is just suggested that we don't have carpool lifestyle.
Well, it's gonna be our property too, right?
No, the parking lot is on our property.
Right, so I just remember that. We've had some difficulties with that in the past. Like at the Ogden, I think the property, like the Goldie's building anyways, so I just want to bring that up. And then I have two more, I just have, I absolutely, so every village surface parking lot that we own, we permit. We put out permits for. So developers have bought them from us for their customers or for their guests that come to their condominiums or any apartments or commercial areas. And so to be consistent and fair, this lot should be in the public utility and we should follow our same practice for that, in my opinion. And so it would be, what we typically charge for a lot at night that's not 24 hours, I think it's $50.
I don't know.
I know, I don't want to misquote that, but it's somewhere around there. And then I'm confused just because of the conversation I had with Rebecca earlier, and I just need clarification of, and so if you get the 10 stalls, it's 10, right? And there was something about just, and if one's empty, we'll park in it. And I can't remember the whole thing, but what the concern was. Is it just those 10 between the hours of 5 and 8? there was no, if there's other parking spaces available, their tenants could park there if they were open.
During the day, from 8 AM to 5?
Mm-hmm.
Well, right now, the developer has not specified any parameters that he's requesting of us to place on those stalls between 8 AM and 5 PM. So it's conceivable that you as a board could say, we want to permit them to individuals between those hours.
Okay, yeah, so either way, I think there would need to be signage and the understanding that we could pull out at any time. We do have 4,500 square feet of space, and this would take away all the parking. How many spaces would be left for that?
Currently, I believe there are 8 stalls in that location.
Right, if you look at how it's striped today, there are eight stalls
Yeah, up to
striped out.
11.
We believe it, with the new configuration, with the driveway going along the entire property line, we could get up to 11 stalls in that area.
And that would be standard stalls? So if we added an ADA stall into there, it would go down to...
It would be 11 plus an ADA, we
Oh, plus-
consider the ADA.
Okay,
Yeah.
oh,
Or,
okay.
I'm sorry, 11 total with the ADA.
With the ADA, oh, good, thank you.
And then I know the employees would park on the other side, correct?
Correct.
And we have a garage that has a few extra spaces in it. But I do believe that, that it would need to be signed, that it is for customer parking of police station or whatever it may be during the day only, and then, you know, private parking between the hours of blah, blah, blah. If we are going to permit it in the lot. I think that's all I had for now. Trustee Menta. And then,
Why would we not just make this a village-owned public parking lot, open lot, and then, you know, they can park, people can park there? I mean, I don't understand why we're not just treating it like it's parking on village property. I thought there were more than 7 spots, and I've been in that lot. Aren't there spots all the way along the Wilson side, and then there's more spots in the middle? But anyway, I just don't understand why we wouldn't just treat it like regular public parking.
well, because every parking that we've built, or have, is permitted, particularly, that's how we earn our revenue, that's what the transportation study recommends.
What do you mean permitted at night?
Yeah, like Roundy's, like our Metro Market would be the
Well,
latest,
yeah,
or
but
the
the other ones are public parking during the day.
during the day, yeah, and we're not suggesting anything different. This is just night parking. So all of our surface parking lots, along with our partnership with the private sector and both of our public parking structures have night
Well, we
permits.
sell permits, but I mean, you can, if I need, I'm not overnight, he's not, well, I guess he has some of it is overnight.
It's all of
It's
it.
all,
There is, yeah, so during the day, it would be public parking for police customers and the public for the use of the building.
Yeah, I mean, I have the same question, why are we dealing with this one differently than we would
Right.
our parking lot on Oakland and Menlo and wherever that is, you know?
We need
That was
to, we don't have access to these spots. They've got a grant, we don't own the driveway. We've got spots, but you gotta get to those spots. So that's the dilemma. We used to be able to drive, there was a big parking lot you drive
So
through.
not accessible.
They say you can't use our driveway. We got land that you can't get to. And we got the existing agreement, but that's the trade-off. We need the driveway, and it's the trade-off there.
But we also, I mean, we don't know what's gonna happen with that extra space in the building.
Right.
And we may need nighttime parking there, you know, at some point, and so, you know, I mean, that's just a disadvantage of going into this now.
And that is my biggest concern. First, I think I understand that, but they also need that driveway for their own development. So I don't think that would persuade them in any way not to build the driveway. But, and if the developer's here or the architect thinks differently, that you wouldn't build the driveway because we have permanent spots, you're more than welcome to rebut that. But in general, it's a precedent-setting move not to permit a surface parking lot that we own. So did you have any comments?
Yeah, we certainly do need to build a driveway. I guess we had actually designed the site around this consideration. The driveway is on the south side of the property so that we could come up with, some sort of a shared agreement for this. We had other options of where to place that. So we do need a driveway, but to trustee Maher's point, you know, at issue here is the shared access, and we're essentially granting an easement through our property for that.
But there's a reason for that, I remember from our prior meeting. So when we talked with Rebecca in the first meeting, I think, the thought that was the easiest way to avoid the county having to give you permission for something. But regardless of all that, when that discussion occurred, we did mention it would be great to get more additional revenue for the village by having some sort of agreement on parking. So I don't know where that thought was.
Sure, so the original discussion actually involved, since you were moving all of these parking into your own building and parking everything on the south side of the building, the original discussion was, could we take the 30 feet on the north side of the police building and use that as the access drive to the development and essentially give more taxable, developable area to the townhome development. We decided as a group not to pursue that option, so it was actually the drive that went back to the north side of the property line and kept it internal to our property. And I guess I'd also just like to note, I feel like the developer has really acted in good faith, trying to make this arrangement work. The way that the existing shared parking lot agreement is written, it's between AB Data, or it's assigns, which is the village, and between the North Shore Legion Post number 331. So Flexagon really is not a party to that. We believe in spirit that there's a good cooperative way to do this and to get access to the parking. But it appears from the legal counsel that we saw on this that potentially they would not be bound to that.
Trustee Menta, then trustee Carpenter.
Do we,
Trustee Carpenter and then trustee Menta. I'm sorry, she hasn't spoken yet. Go ahead.
I just have a question about parking in that particular section on North Western Drive. Does anyone we know what is allowed for parking for overnight? Or is it just like anywhere else in the village where we each call in for the 20 nights? Like what happens if somebody somebody has a guest, let's say that we don't move forward with this, they have a guest and they have to park on that, in front of that development?
I would need to look that up.
It's somewhat like the Metro Market. We don't enforce, at this time, I believe that we don't enforce when people park there at night.
No, on Wilson. So if you could not park in that parking lot, if the only option is to park on Wilson, I guess my question to you and or the developer is, is that essential for guests, for owners to have a place for their guests to park? Where if you live in a single family home or other places in the village, you can call in. I don't know what.
Oh, you could too. You could too here. It could be exactly the same. Every unit, every residential unit in the village, without changing our parking regulations, the current one gets 20 free parking spaces with each license plate.
I believe we have a special permit for Wilson Drive too that you can get.
Okay.
That's one of the special permits.
For hardships, it is right now. Trustee Menta.
Okay, so does the village currently have an easement on the driveway?
Yes.
Basically, the answer to that is yes, because we have access under the agreement. The one thing I wanted to point out is, because no one's mentioned it, but you should also look at what obligations the village would be alleviated from continuing if the agreement is amended. Under the current agreement, it says that ABDA, which is now the village, will pay for all routine maintenance of the joint lot, including sealing, things like that, painting and parking, the lines, parking lines, painting those, and snow plowing.
Asphalt replacement.
And yeah, so at this point, if you look on the map, that driveway there, the existing driveway is actually further north. And that shows the existing lot line. So that little octagon strip, that's all that the village owns now. That's the part of the police department station. And then everything to the north of that, where the existing lot is, which is most of the lot, is actually the Legion Post, or now this tenant's property. So it's a little bit confusing when you look at it, because the existing entrance lot is a little bit further to the north. So if you amend the agreement, the village will be giving up the responsibility for doing that maintenance and perpetuity as well.
Including asphalt replacement?
Well, it says, in the existing lot, it says AB Data will repave and paint parking spaces.
So repay, okay. Trustee
That
Mento?
didn't answer my question, because an easement is something recorded on the deed, that we have an easement through the property to access our property.
Well,
So
yes,
it's not
that's
through
right.
the agreement, I'm asking, is there an easement recorded on the deed that the village has on that property to allow access, or do we not have an easement?
Right, no, that's why I started by saying, yes, under the existing agreement under Exhibit C, which outlines the responsibilities of each party, I think that's covered.
Is it recorded on the deed? I know
It
there's an
is
agreement.
recorded, yeah. It's
Okay,
part of the
so
article
yes.
of interest, yes.
But, okay, so. I understand the map now, that's why the building is going, the driveway, it's not where the current driveway is, the driveway is farther south, and the building is into a lot of the parking. Okay, now I understand why there's only 11 spots.
So, after hearing everybody's comments, I think the most important thing for the developer, for the development, is that you don't lose those rights if something came into 4,500 square feet of community space. That, I would think, and tell me if I'm wrong, but that's more important than paying a $50 fee for the spots a month. That's how I would think as a developer. I want security more than anything. And so if that is correct, and I will be free to comment in a second, but I still believe that we should permit our spots. And if we want to say in perpetuity or until the development is, not available, I just don't feel comfortable setting precedent on village-owned property. I'm also very uneasy about the commercials, it could be a commercial space. We need to rent out the space. We need funding. My only saving grace is that they probably will need daytime parking. And so this would be a nighttime permit only, and then if there was another use, they could use those 10 spots during the day. So, but 5 o'clock, there's got to be some sort of clause that, 5 o'clock, if you were a business in that community space, and they closed and not need a parking space until 5 p.m. And that's what we deal with on our private lots that we help permit. Yes, and then if you want to respond.
Yes, thank you. I would say certainly the security is very important to the developer to maintaining the rights to those. I guess I would ask the board to consider, the construction of the lot, the maintenance of the driveway. So now, everyone who's accessing those parking stalls are using the townhome driveway. So that's obviously traffic and maintenance that we have to consider. We're removing the snow, so we're maintaining the property in that way. And we're also, again, allowing access to the property. So I don't know the other situations in Shorewood and how that parking is working, but I would imagine that this is a little bit different of a situation with access to private property.
Not really, because
we haven't.
hold on, Trustee Mento, not really, because when we constructed the light doors, we had easement agreements, and they still, rent the spots for Trustee Mento.
No, I was just saying we have an easement, so it's not like you're providing access, we have an easement.
Is that correct, Nathan?
That's my interpretation of the existing agreement would not, the purpose and intent of the existing agreement would be null and void if there wasn't access to the existing driveway.
That just is quickly, I misunderstood the drawing, and I thought that we were talking about the number of spots that are there now. Now that I understand it's a very limited number of spots, I don't think the public would be thinking, oh, there's parking anyhow. So I don't have as much of an issue with going ahead with this agreement, but I do agree, the term that it's indefinite and that we can't change it without mutual agreement, there may come, given that we have that empty space and we don't know what it's gonna be used for, whether we're gonna need it or we lease it to someone who might need some parking. I would like that, I think we need more flexibility to be able to change it unilaterally.
Or they could purchase it, but again, I think that got taken up, we discussed that in the pre-meeting a while back. I mean, do you really want us to give up public land? And my answer is, Mr. Warren?
Yes, a couple things that are first of all, I do agree that trying to provide folks a little more flexibility with the information policy, because they're more appreciated in the event that we need it in the future. Secondly, I was going to ask Rebecca, what exactly are we aiming to do? Recognizing that we have 4 minutes left, what exactly are we aiming to do out of the discussion tonight? Because we have a lot of questions. I don't know that a clear consensus has emerged here necessarily.
Ask for opinion.
I think we've just gotten a lot of questions, so thank you very much for answering our questions, but I don't know if we've got time to kind of reel around the consensus.
So did you have a recommendation, in other words, as well?
One of the items that we wanted to get at, we wanted to get general direction, because I think the developer would like to proceed in some direction and have some feedback from the board. I think if I'm summarizing where the board's at right now, is that they're, and so correct me and jump in if I'm incorrect, but due to the fact that there's still remaining vacant space at the northwest corner of the police building, I think that there's a desire on behalf of the board to maintain flexibility with parking in those stalls between the hours of 5 p.m. and 8 a.m. In the morning. Perhaps.
Maybe not necessarily that whole period of time, but
Correct.
whatever business we need to use. But what is your recommendation, is my question, because,
I believe that was
but that's okay, because I had already asked it.
My recommendation is for us as a group to discuss this.
And does staff have an opinion on whether to permit the spots, whether to sell the property, whether to, you do it in perpetuity? You just staff, I know you guys have talked about it.
This, I mean, from an agreement standpoint, this is a policy decision on behalf of the board. So we're here to have the discussion with you, to gather and listen to your feedback for an agreement that hasn't been discussed within the scope of the village for decades, or at least the last decade. It went into effect in 2004. So in the absence of knowing the direction and comfortability of the board,
You have no recommendation, okay.
correct.
Trustee McCabe.
I'm
And I'm
working
sorry,
on
sorry.
recollection, but
Mhm.
at the River Park parking lots
Yes.
are, I believe, when do they turn into parking? Is it 7 p.m.? Or like these spots out here, the overnight parking spots, it's, 7 p.m.?
Or even 6.
I don't know the specific time.
So I guess, in my mind, there's precedent for stalls turning over from one use to another use. And maybe just what's different here is 5 p.m. versus 6 or 7 p.m. Because I know that like with baseball games, there've been people that have been waiting to get into there. You know, and it's one of the
7. I believe that in 7.
So it seems like, you know, there's, that's one way to go as a compromise. Another, sorry, there was another. Oh, and then that way, and when that's happened, you know, people just work together and I understand, you know, that there's a turnover race this fall and, you know, I don't think that we could deluge with calls to the police for conflicts around this. So there is precedent in the village for turnover use of stalls at a certain time of day. Whether we want to look at it, making this one a little bit more consistent, and I don't know if that's agreeable to the developer, I don't know what's happening in the scope of our discussion tonight, but I would just ask for it to consider it if there's a concern. Otherwise, I think that it's reasonable.
And the reason for the turnover, and the reason I asked the question about the time was specifically because you have 4,900 square feet of space, and it's commercial user, just as you were saying, if a commercial user usually is not out by 5. And so that would be a difficult thing to have a commercial user, the timing that you're pointing out is appropriate. I don't know if the answer is which exact hour. Trustee Buckles?
I agree that
Trustee
we
Marks?
have to have more flexibility here, they cut off at 5, but it needs to be able to move. The other thing I'm worried about is the date, that space in the back of the building. We may need, I don't know how you access it, we may need to put a walkway to get back there. How you clear that space? It would be, if you got cars parked, can you have people walking and parking in the driveway? ADA accessible and stuff, so I think looking out, we need to have the agreement fashion so it allows and accommodates what happens to that back space. And it would take some crafting. I mean, in the interim, as long as we can work out these hours and flexibility, and there is permitted parking, night parking on Wilson in front of us. So there is night parking available by permit. So I would just think we've got to have some flexibility here going out, set some time for review. I know in some of our ramps we have agreements, multiple use of the space, and I'd also like to protect those ADA spots for use by the police department at any time.
Well, look for guests.
Yes, yeah, any,
We should have ADA.
they should just be open.
Any further discussion? Trustee Michaels?
I guess I just had a question regarding the street parking in front of the police station. Is that the area where is there a bus stop there, or is there?
No, we specifically in the Public Works Committee saved 34 spots on that section of the property, the commercial.
So we potentially have 30-some spots already designated to the hypothetical community area or whatever.
Yes.
So I guess I'm a little bit more comfortable knowing that we already have 36 spots. That I'm very much more comfortable with this agreement than if we didn't have 36 spots.
Well, actually, it would be the reverse. Trustee
Let
Michaels?
me make a motion that, Trustee Maher as the Public Works Chair, meet with the village manager and, try to draft some of the, I don't know if Trustee Warren has some input too, try to draft some, amendments to the proposed agreement that would give us the flexibility that I think, the board is interested in.
I'm happy to help with that.
Because I
Did you
don't
make
want
that?
to
Wait, before you guys say a word, can you make, what is the motion, and then we need a second before we discuss.
that Trustee Maher would input for Trustee Warren, meet with the village manager, and draft some amendments to this agreement for future board consideration.
I'd like to
Or
point
just
a parliamentary procedure
Yeah.
here, or just going forward, I'm not sure that we can tell a certain individual that they have to work with someone, so maybe a better way would be to ask him to make a motion.
Actually, I think the better way is just to assign it to the Committee of Public Works. That probably would be the most appropriate.
Mhm.
So
We
just
can't
hand it to
assign
I mean,
work to the
I
trustees.
assume that's okay, is that okay?
The public works, yeah, I think it's,
I mean, for you to sort of take
Right.
it, you don't have, I assume that's public works chair, you would, look at the one at this before, April.
Yeah, that's right.
Right. Oh,
They're
I
off the
see.
board.
we got lots of.
Well, I mean, Public Works has 3 members, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and in a timely fashion, is there at any time, obviously, the soonest the best, but is there any real hard deadline for you guys that we should be aware of?
No, we'll make ourselves available to work with, through any language revisions. We did go to Design Review Board last week, and so the next effort here is to start marketing and pre-sales, and obviously we'll put this confidence behind us to be able to do that.
And I just want to make the comment to the board and to the public that I did have Rebecca reach out to the county, Milwaukee County. I know there's a concern that once development starts on property that is private, there has been a past concern that will it continue and will the county start selling off their land? And the county clerk, I can't remember who it was that got back to us, but so there had no intention of ever selling off any of the parkland. I don't know if you got a reply about the right of way.
Same with the right.
Okay, so I just wanted to share that because I know that's a concern in the community, and I did want to, not that that can never happen, but I I did want to reach out to the county to make sure that wasn't the intent, start private, and then selling off land for public land for private development. And in addition, I didn't know if Trustee Carpenter, do you want to mention anything about design?
Well, it's for future items of consideration, but I don't know, do you want me to?
Don't we
Now,
have
it is.
to do it with the motion?
Did you do a motion and a second?
No, nobody seconded it. I made a motion.
I apologize for that. Is there a second for a can you read the motion?
Second.
There you go.
My point of clarification, are you amending your motion to now go to the Public Works Committee?
Well,
That wasn't your
I think that no, because I think that I don't want to do the wordsmithing and everything in the Public Works Committee. I think that's better for staff to do in consultation with
Definitely.
the Public Works Chair and then bring it to the committee.
I'd be happy to work with Trustee Maher and Trustee Warren.
So right now, the motion I have is trustee amendment moves for trustee Maher as the Public Works Chair with input from trustee Warren as the Public Safety Chair to meet with the village manager to propose amendments to the agreement.
Yeah.
I have a problem with
And we have a second, correct?
I don't.
Before we start
I don't have a
discussion,
second.
I don't know.
Oh, you second.
I thought I seconded it. Okay, Trustee Butters.
I have a problem with this again, that we're assigning one of, I understand that trustee Maher is just, if we're gonna talk about setting precedents, it's assigning other board members to do, I think that, I think we ask for volunteers, or we send it to committee as we propose, but stating that he has to do that in the motion, I have a problem with that.
Yeah, I prefer it to go to the committee and,
They can still do it that way.
I'm okay with removing me.
Volunteer.
There you go. I still don't like it.
I mean, it shouldn't be in the motion. I mean, we always have, let's talk about actual procedure for a second, past procedures. I mean, usually the chair of a committee will work with staff to help draft, something that will go before that committee, and I have no problem with that. We've never said that in the motion, as I think that Trustee Bockhorst is saying, if you just refer it to committee, then that is what will occur, is that usually the chair. Right, and then that's typical practice for our committees.
Well, will the item come back to the committee, or should it just come right back to the board? The board has already picked up.
Well, the only way that you would be working with staff to draft something differently is if it was referred to committee.
This is time sensitive, you could still say to committee, set the date, and whoever can make it, only you.
And could do the same day.
I mean, I would suggest we vote on my motion, and if it fails, we can make a different motion.
Well, we're going to read back the motion, and we can.
Trustee Amenta moves for trustee Maher as the Public Works Chair with input from trustee Warren as the Public Safety Chair to meet with the village manager to propose amendments to the agreement.
Okay, further discussion?
I just say that I'm comfortable with this because there was agreement and consensus and volunteering. So I know it's not typical, but I think in this situation.
And I'm just going to tell you, I do not want to set this precedent. I'm totally with Trustee Bockhorst that we should follow standard procedure. So if there's any further discussion, we could take a vote.
I'm gonna vote no, but I think you're confident, it's just the procedure.
Yeah, absolutely. I think these men are highly qualified to do the job. All right, so any further discussion? With that, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Nay.
Nay. Motion carries 5-2. Thank you so much. Look forward to, we'll try to expedite this, get it on the agenda as soon as possible.
Very good, thank you.
Thanks, and thanks for your efforts. 7:36.
Yes,
Okay, I need a motion to adjourn by trustee McKay, a second by trustee Warren. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Just for the, let's take a bodily break for 5 minutes. We'll be back at 7:45.